Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the rationalinvestor.co's. What the hell is this? This is a broiler chicken show. Black, 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 black. Welcome back, everybody. I'm sure Paul's probably going to get that that soundbite wherever he is. Just a FYI to everybody, this is going to be a YouTube show. So we'll probably have some YouTubers pop in just to ask questions and stuff like that. Oh boy, somebody on YouTube says I shorted at 7,000. Help. Oh boy. Well, I don't mean to be rude, John, but long and short of it here is we should have, before we ever consider a trade, we should actually know exactly where we're going to enter and exactly where we're going to exit, if our thesis about the trade idea was proved invalid, we have to man up and just close out the position and walk away. Ironically enough, it's interesting that you just started that. We started that video with that because that's actually probably the absolute hardest lesson for most people new to trading to learn. You don't really want to put yourself into a position where you need to be right, because that's just actually you're just setting yourself up for disaster. Alexander says, hi, couch, Brian. If that's my Dutch Alexander, which I think it is. What's so funny is Trex went and killed all those damn open orders that I had forever, and I still had some open order bids working on that PKB. You know what I'm talking about? Remember I pulled off that nutso trade? I think that's the same Alexander. But anyway, miss you, bud. Where the hell have you been? Anyway, great to see we got a fairly full lounge here, and actually a fairly full YouTube group there. And we're already starting to chat. We're only 2 minutes into the video. Uh-oh, there's Mr. Soundbite. Oh, I got to be careful now. Paul's making notes. Okay, so let's get on with the story. As I said, let's take a look. I mean, obviously, this is our broiler chicken show, so I'm not going to go too much into the broader stock market, but just a simple message that we should take out of the broader market, if you do watch this, is that actually things are firming up a bit here. I get the impression that legislation is going to be rammed down our throats to cut taxes for the rich, so the party should go on in the stock market for a little longer. We probably also need to be very cognizant of the Fed, the general message out of the world monetary policy, and if we look at short-term interest rate trends themselves. And actually, we just had our weekly meeting, and we're so wrapped up with Bitcoin right now that we didn't even really update the commodities trends, but I don't see any of them changing right now. And the simple message, I think, should be that short-term interest rates are rising. They're not falling right now, so that's the general trend. And as soon as the yield curve inverts, then we can start talking about serious problems for the stock market. Because we sort of got through that seasonally dangerous window, September, October, I think on balance, we can look for a higher market. And the breadth here, as you can see, the broader market has gone from being very unhappy to, okay, well, I'm relatively happy again. And if anything, what we should watch for is usually a week or so following the U.S. Thanksgiving. There is a pullback, usually the first week or so of December. If you want a fun historical reference, go Google irrational exuberance, which was a famous speech by a U.S. Fed central bank governor, Alan Greenspan, about, geez, that's probably 20 years ago now. But anyway, it's a great sort of, number one, funny little expression that will stick in your head, but an excellent anecdote that all it takes is just somebody needs to sneeze that first week of December, and usually the market pulls back a little bit. It's a big Thanksgiving holiday weekend in the States. People are feeling pretty optimistic. And if anything, what's the flavor du jour? Bitcoin tastes great. My hunch is that a lot of the activity you're seeing in Bitcoin is centered around that U.S. Thanksgiving holiday event. So with that said, I think I'll probably leave the broader stock market commentary in this video at that. Let's head on over to crypto and have some fun. It's been a real adventure watching this chart evolve over time. I'll tell you that much, by crackers. You know, for people that are new to trading, please understand you are coming to the Bitcoin story very late. You know, all you YouTubers, most of the people that are in the lounge watching this, they've heard this message just out the yin yang. Brian, oh, I'm so sick of hearing this message. But if we have a bunch of people on YouTube that have never seen me before or watched these videos, you know, let's go through the basics here. You know, first and foremost, let's just make sure everybody's clear of this. And Jeremy, you're in here, so you can attest to this. Have I suggested that we be hunting, calling tops through this bull market anywhere along here? Don't do it. It's not in your best interest. You're gonna break your heart. You're going to get very angry. You're going to get frustrated. I've seen this happen before, in that the market goes into sort of just this, it's a one-way market. You know, I used to do these Coinigy shows with Alex, and he used to jokingly call them sometimes in crypto, you get these one-way markets. And I might argue with this big fundamental event coming up here, this CME official listing of Bitcoin futures contracts, sort of their official, you know, coming out of the closet. I don't know if that's the right term. Debutante, right? You know, coming out party for Bitcoin. There's no way in hell they're going to let this thing crap out into the face of that. It's just not going to happen. Can we get some wicked swings that are going to flush out the weak hands? You better believe it. But I can't see them breaking this ahead of that event. And what I find a little bit sad in this space is, you know, people that are on the inside of the crypto story, they see very real concerns with these forks and these you know, SegWits and how do we make Bitcoin a better Bitcoin at the end of the day. I think the higher ups, the people that are not, you know, really even understand half this technology, but are just wanting to plow some money into this space, they're simply looking at those FUD events as a wonderful opportunity to buy on the cheap. Might even argue that some of the higher ups might have even finessed the public to a certain degree, Mr. Diamond, into trying to get them to be sellers so that they might even be able to buy theirs. I would also argue too that, you know, if we are going to have a CME listed product that theoretically carries like serious risk associated with it, so that means these players, they're in it for some serious money. They're probably going to want to build up an inventory so that they have a balance sheet day one of CME trading. So it doesn't surprise me too that you're going to get, if anything, this is you know, for our level oneers, we just went through liquidity events. I mean, this has got to be the liquidity event tutorial of a lifetime. And does it make sense? And I hope it does to the YouTube audience too. Does it make sense that on this event date, Bitcoin's going to be in the newspaper? It's probably, you guys remember what newspapers are? Do they still do those things? It's going to be on the blog post, whatever. It's going to be on every single TV news broadcast. If there was anybody who wasn't aware of Bitcoin, they are going to be made aware of Bitcoin. And we've watched these, you know, we had some really cool sort of public events back when Bitcoin was trying to find a bottom. We had a fantastic one right here. This was a U.S. government Silk Road auction of Bitcoins. And it was kind of funny through this event, right? We were all actually watching the price action on the daily chart, and price was just going straight up. And what was fascinating about this event, a very, you know, same sort of thing. Bitcoin, nobody was interested in Bitcoin through here. But as we got closer and closer to the event, more and more news broadcasts actually became, public. Oh, I remember that Bitcoin thing. Oh yeah, I was thinking about buying it. And we were sort of talking about it with the level oneers and just simply saying, do you think that those people that weren't interested in Bitcoin before, but were brought to attention because of the news, do you think they're going to be afforded the opportunity to buy Bitcoins on the cheap? No friggin' way. If they're going to buy, and it's the public coming in, and hey, oh, I remember that Bitcoin thing. If they're going to buy, they're going to have to pay top dollar for those coins. So sure enough, the event happens. And what's fascinating about this event was it was a perfect mountain man tag. So that just basically meant that the institutional guys, the guys who are trading levels, this was a beautiful shorting window. And of course, once the event was over, boom, back down price goes. So don't be shocked, people, that number one, we're getting the buy the rumor part of the equation right now. And once the event happens, we're probably going to get some sort of sell the news. If anything, the way that I'm kind of looking at this is fine. Take price higher. Take it higher. Take it higher. We know that a technical correction has to come. So what that really means is as long as they keep taking it higher here, whatever the technical correction is, it's going to be purely percentages. It just simply means that our next base, our next reload zone, it keeps getting jacked higher and higher. Am I going to buy Bitcoins here? No friggin' way. But the great part about it is when the dust settles and we go into sort of, all right, the public is being washed out of the market, those floors are getting higher and higher and higher over time. So I'm okay with that. Totally fine with me. If we were going to look for any sort of shenanigans, I always think it's a good idea to start with 38.2 retracements. So, what I'm kind of thinking here, and I've seen Bitcoin do this a few times, is, I think first and foremost, we have one big honking, big fat round number staring us in the face. You can't get bigger or fatter or rounder. So while this may not, and I remember when the Dow was zooming up like this, trying to, keep in mind, guys, when I first started in this business, the Dow was like 1900, 2000. Isn't that incredible? So it's interesting. There was somebody that is a relatively respected person in the trading world. And he had said, wow, this is the biggest bull market in my 42-year career. Well, I don't actually think so. I think this is kind of par for the course. But at the same time, I think that we have a very big, very fat, very round number staring us in the face here. But what I also have seen with Bitcoin, it seems to love to do this, is it will come up to this big fat round number and print. My hunch is it's going to print something like 99.58 or 99.74, some crazy ass number right underneath it, and then it's going to back off. I remember we did this around 7,000, and I think I remember around 8,000 as well. Yeah. So, is this going to be a clean tag? I don't think so. I think there's going to be some monkey games around this. Keep in mind, CME event comes out way over here. My hunch, actually, if we look at things like parking garages, as you can see, 9,500. We're coming up to 1.618 here anyway. We should see some play here anyway. But my hunch is it's going to be a funny little dance. And I actually think we're probably going to swing on the other side of 10,000. For a bit, right? In fact, we had some other price objectives. I wonder where they were. I didn't really get my charts all totally ready for you guys here today. Here's a 200% that's just above 10,000, but these are on the forward, so don't really want to look at that for spot price. We've got 1.618, 10,926, 200% all the way up to 12,000 here. I don't know. Market will do whatever the hell it wants to do. Actually, this isn't a bad sort of segue event for us to sort of look at. for sort of a fun experiment, I guess about maybe a week or two ago, I posted out this chart. If you can see, it seems that we go through periods of consolidation, and then we go through very noticeable periods of extreme trending market. Then periods of consolidation, then extreme trend, consolidation, extreme trend. And I just noticed that these, trending markets versus consolidating markets seem to be following a very consistent path. Now, in trading, nothing's guaranteed. If anybody looked at this tweet when I put it out and said, okay, absolutely, he's predicting the future, I am not trying to predict the future with this. I'm just simply asking, periods of consolidation previously sort of took these funny looking, similar patterns. So if we were going to replicate that kind of behavioral pattern, what might our correction of 52 days look like? And what I thought was really interesting about this is, like June, for example, we bottomed and we just literally did a steamroller move straight up for 16 bars. And you notice in the September period, same thing. We made some sort of pivot and then steamrolled our way 11 bars higher. The April pivot, this was around that SEC ruling event. So I'm not quite sure how that plays into our scenario. But I see this same sort of thing. We start out the gate, just dump nice and violently, and then do our steamroller. And what I'm worried about here, everybody, just so you're aware, is you see, 11 bars, 16 bars. This rally was 17 bars. Well, here we are. We're now at 14 bars on this up move. So be cognizant of the fact that we often like to move in these swings. As well, too, 127s are usually pretty powerful fib levels. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some play here anyway. I thought it was interesting overnight when I was, we'll talk about it in a moment, and having some fun with BitterX. Excuse me, gonna have a hernia. I thought it was interesting to see people were tweeting out posts and stuff. Bitcoin 8888, very popular number for the Chinese. So, could we play around this level for a while? Sure. 127s often act as pretty good pivots. And also, too, let's be mindful of the fact that we've literally gone straight up now for 2 weeks. Is that sustainable? I don't know, guys. Let's be careful here. So am I looking for some sort of short-term pivot here? Yeah, I am. And if anything, like I said, CME events still a couple weeks away. They can play around with the market, no problem. In fact, we should probably start to draw our sort of consolidation period. So, this period to its ultimate low was 33 bars. This period to its ultimate low was 21 bars. This period to its ultimate low was 13 bars. So I don't know what our pivot pullback is going to look like, but I wouldn't be surprised that once we're through sort of this up push, that we have to do a bit of cleaning up here as we just go through. And what's really interesting about this, I've noticed, do you notice here, guys, check this out. When we went into the consolidation zone here, there's the price. And when we come out of the consolidation zone, there's the price. It's almost basically the same. When we enter in the consolidation zone, there's the price. We come out of the consolidation zone, there's the price. So what that's kind of telling me is that my hunch is that when we come out of this consolidation zone, Bitcoin's probably going to be sitting around 7,500 bucks. So we'll see what happens. Only time will tell, as they say. Okay, so that's sort of my Bitcoin sort of prognostication. It was interesting. Some of our veterans, Thomas in particular, just a brilliant trader. The guy's picked up trading. Started working with me a couple of years ago. He's in the gold business anyway, so he's a sharp as a tack kind of guy to survive in that business. picked up on the skill set so quickly, and just it's beautiful to watch him in action. And actually, I think we're actually even maybe going to bring Thomas on to help manage one of our mini portfolios on the new site. So super excited about that. But he likes to play over in OKCoin. You notice that we've come up here to a parking garage level, just nailed 200% right on the nose there, doink. Pulling back, you can clearly see, anybody can, I don't know, does anybody tell me? Are there a hell of a lot of buyers coming in up top here? Anyone? I don't know. Ryan, send the link for your lingo, please, and thanks. I suppose you actually have to go through a school just to understand what the hell I'm saying here, eh? So, Justin, are you on the site? Because you must be to be able to be in here. If you pop into the library and you come down to, I think, what do we have at Trading Utilities? Yeah, there we are. So we have our TRI Dictionary of Isms. So all I got to do is pop this up, and you can have lots of fun going through all our sort of various different terms and stuff that we use. Okay. Okay. All right. And if there's anything that I've said in here that you guys, BTC is crashing at the moment. Crashing? I don't know whether crashing is the right word. Now, what do you think, guys? Does that kind of sound like somebody who might be a little bit emotional when it comes to trading? I don't know whether we want to use the word crash. What I see, John, is we just tagged a 200% trading objective, and we're pulling back. And on the hourly charts on OKCoin, we're just doing nothing more than coming back to a short-term moving average. So let's maybe refrain from words like crashing. If we look at the cash market, what I see on the weekly charts is we just tagged a new high and we're just pulling back off of that high. So I don't know. Again, crashing, I'm not quite sure if that's the right word to use here, sir. Okay, so, and the long and short of it here is, like we just said just a moment ago, are there a lot of buyers coming in up top here? John, you can see my chart, right? We can clearly see that buyers aren't coming in. And really the most important question is, where should we expect buyers to come in? And, this is why I'm a really big fan of volume profile. If you actually look at the profile, you can see where the top of value is. You can actually see where everybody is taking positions. On the site, we talked lots about this diamond, and it was really interesting because we saw that the market tried to break to the downside, and it just couldn't find traction. And I've seen this happen with diamonds before. They can be sons of bitches. That's why I said, do not trade this. Let it resolve itself. So out of the diamond comes this AB equals CD, which really is painting a price objective of 10,500 on OKCoin forwards. So to say that price is crashing here, I think is actually extremely amateur. If anything, what I'm thinking here is we need to see some sort of consolidation. And, for all those short-term traders, what is this, if we do get a consolidation, what is this going to set up here? Does that look like sort of the beginnings of some sort of trading model that Brian trades? I don't mean to be rude, John. I apologize. I didn't mean to, beat up on you. I always sound drunk, Sanj. The bots, that's right. So, for all those traders, if anything, you should have been taking profits here. What you want to do is you want to simply draw your fibs. And the irony of it all is bots not even fibs. So let's refrain from using the fib term. You want to draw your retracement levels, 33%, 66%. And if you are a botter, you would actually like the market to come back to 89.44. So guys who are actually hoping for the next long setup to play the market higher, John, they're actually waiting for the market to come back to at least 89.44. So I crash, not good terminology. And John, I think I'd prefer that maybe you kind of refrain from that kind of talk. Let's hunt setups. What is the setup? So, and actually this isn't a bad dovetail. At present, I'm just going to simply let price breathe here a little bit. And if anything, GAN aficionados, they're looking for a 50% retracement of this up move anyway. And that would make sense too, because really all that's going to do is just bring price back against these old breakout highs here. And let's see how price just simply sets itself up. If we rally up and then we start failing up here, well, then we can start hunting shorts. We've got a nice risk window. And, even moves back to the 50% level, might set up like El Tangonator setups. But as we sort of said, just previously, is it really a good idea for us to be hunting shorts in here? I don't know. If anything, I still have to say pullbacks are buying opportunities. Okay, so that's sort of what I'm thinking here in the short term. I think we're moving up towards 10,000. I'm not quite sure, I certainly don't think it's a good idea to go and buy right now. If you want to try and play that move higher, I think you got to wait for some consolidation. And if we start seeing signs of divergence and stuff, let's go take a look at our indicators. Yeah, nothing really to get too worried about here. Volume's still coming in on the upside. MACD's still trying to make new highs. Willie, yes, stupid. So, again, we got no business being buyers here. So if anything, we just got to, and what I would say in the lounge, I'm going to be off with Liam here shortly. But, as I'm hanging around in the lounge, what I really want to see, of course, is how the Asians act when they start their Monday morning. That's in about, let's say 4 or 5 hours. Right now, if anything, we're in a bit of a dead zone right now. And if anything, what I really want to be watching for is if there are any traps being laid in altcoin land. Because I got a funny feeling we might be seeing some people being FOMO buying into some of the altcoin names. All right, so with that said, what is my advice for people on the site just to over the short term is, okay, we've obviously had some pretty big objectives hit here. Let's just let this consolidate and set up our next setup to be hunting going forward here. I don't know if it's long. I don't know if it's short. I do completely understand some guys, scalper guys, going to be hunting off the lower time frames to hit this 200% kind of idea. But for our purposes here, and probably for most of the public, I wouldn't get too wrapped up in that really short-term trade. And, those short-term scalper guys, they're probably actually going to be starting to take profits in here soon. All right, let's pop on over and look at some altcoins. I see lots and lots of names popping up here. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. In fact, and this is, it's almost funny if you watch a guy like me, because, into April, well, let's say May, June, July, and you pull up a sheet like this, all it is sell, 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 sell. And I've just not been doing any buying at all. And of course, good old Brian gets himself into trouble on Twitter and stuff, calling people idiots for buying tops. What can you do? Hopefully lessons learned. But the long and short of it here is this, I would actually argue, is the time to be a buyer in this space. And things like this folding coin where people pay just ridiculous amounts of money for this silly thing. I'm not saying bet the farm on this thing, but what I am saying is when it comes right back down to the bottom end of the range here, it's not a bad idea to do a little bit of nibbling. And I was watching this thing over the weekend, and I just simply told our community that if this double bottom came in here, I was just going to go take another nibble, and I did exactly that this morning. If we're really lucky, now, like I said, I am a little concerned that late on a Sunday, maybe the altcoiners are getting a little too frothy. We might see some pullback in through the rest of Sunday into early Monday morning. Be cognizant of that. But I'm more than happy to go and start nibbling away. And one sort of positive side effect of this whole Bittrex stuff is it actually forced me to go through and do an inventory. So I actually spent, almost the better part of yesterday just going through all my open orders. And if anything, it's a good idea. Thank heavens I did it back in the summertime. I took a complete, a listing of all my open orders. I still had some buy orders from like 2015 still sitting in there. And, I don't know whether it helps BitterX or not, but what I've basically suggested to our site people, and it seems that it's the same sentiment across the crypto community on things like Twitter and stuff, is you're just going to have to simply build some sort of API key to automatically re-enter your orders on a monthly basis. If anything, and Sjord's already worked on it for TRI. That's interesting. Is that coming from me or one of you guys? What the hell was that? Anyway, one of I'm trying to figure. Was that one of you guys or was that me? There's a blurb too. I wonder what that's for. Oh, you know what it is? It's our new TRI. It's our new TRI chat lounge, chat room. Actually, maybe I'll give you guys a preview of it. And what's so cool, right, is here's Mo's picture. Mo put a picture of Brian as Mr. Topham Hat. Remember that tweet, Mo? So that's my picture on the new chat room. So anyway, kind of funny. But what's really cool is you can see we've got admin, we've got Oder. Oh, Michael just promoted himself. Admin, there's Julian. So we're working away on building this out for you guys. Anyway, the point is that's what's bleeping. Sorry, got distracted there. So I have been in here doing some buying. I'm actually seeing some bottoms come in, and I think we're in locations where I'm actually, it's in my interest to actually start going and putting some money to work. So, and then as I've been sort of going through the portfolio, if I see stuff that looks really interesting and I just want to take a little nibble and just grab some, because, it's basically at the bottom of the range, going through this inventory wasn't such a bad idea. So in a weird sort of way, thanks, BitterX, for the kick in the pants. And as I said, what's really cool, and everybody in the inside TRI, one of our alumni, Tom, just was like right on top of it. Here's the script, guys. They just do this, 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 and this. And I saw a couple other guys in the lounge. I was talking with Jeremy. They were running through tests and stuff like that. So the scripts look like they're working. It's just, and the shitty part about this, I mean, let's just face it, let's call a spade a spade. This is part of the business. I remember when I was a Canadian broker here in Canada, the TSC did the same thing to us back, I don't know, may have been late 90s, early 2000s. When I first got in this business, we were still quoting stocks in eights, right? And it was so funny because we went to like 64ths and 128ths and 364ths. And like the computer screens couldn't even handle these massive fractional numbers because the stock market was still trading in eights. So anyway, they moved to a decimal system, and I remember, ooh, that was so big. Ah! Anyway, what was my story about? Can't even remember. Oh yeah, the Canadian market. We used to have good till canceled orders in the Canadian market, and then they went and said, we're changing all GTC orders to expire on a monthly basis. And if anything, what you have to understand is that actually helps the market makers. It makes their life so much easier. Because now you aren't going to have guys like us. Now, the interesting thing is if we can build these workaround scripts, then nothing changes. But it does inject another step into the equation. So what it really means to a guy like me is if you're slick and you're on the ball and you've got these scripts and you got your order book, running as a professional order book. And here, I'll show you what my order book looks like now. I'm sort of building this thing out. This is what I had to do yesterday, which is a total pain in the ass, but had to be done. And I'm still not done. But anyway, went through orders that were still on, and I had to sort of build a checklist of all the tasks that I had to do. So I had to go through orders that are potentially expiring, orders that expired, then my old database, going through all my orders, re-entering them, what got filled, what didn't. And really what I would recommend for all people to do is this is basically how most market makers run their books, is they're just going to simply look at crypto. And there's one gentleman here who's in the banking industry, and I totally see him doing this. But in essence, you just need to run an inventory. And and you can see I've got a fucking hell of a lot of work because I haven't updated this in a while. But in essence, you want to just, where you bought, where your open orders are working, where your bids are working to reload. And you just simply have to manage your order book. And really, for site members and stuff, I'll update you on this as we go along here over the coming weeks. The great part about it, of course, for me is that I got Sjord managing everything on the back end through the site. And he's built the script to do everything on the back end. But you are going to have to take the steps individually and manage this on your own. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. But the great part about it, and this is why I built this site in particular, is our community is just, it's so awesome. Like we got like 20 different people that are like, yeah, so they said this. Okay, so we'll do this. Okay, so we got that plan. Yeah, and this guy, he put that script there. So did you get that? All right. Like people are actually looking out for each other, which I tell you guys, that's the whole reason why I did this, is it's beautiful to watch you guys all interact and help each other. This is crypto without the fucking crypto. I love it. I absolutely love it. I apologize, YouTube, for swearing there, but I got to tell you, this is the whole reason why I built this place, and it's doing exactly what I had hoped and dreamed. Okay, so without further ado, you can go on the site and check out what I'm buying. I thought this was a perfect example of something that I'm very interested in. Really cool, actually. We just, for the level 2ers, we just introduced you to script languages and sends here in the Hangout here today. He just actually produced a script on TradingView to identify when you see W's in a Willy or whatever oscillator you're interested in, and W's in volume momentum indicators. We had a site alumni, Davo, who we actually affectionately named this setup off of because he loved it so much. And I love doing that with my site people, is we'll just give you the name and we'll make you famous. So interesting that we're getting Davo signals. Of course, this day is still young. This might, just be bullshit move. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell, but I'm very optimistic about what I'm seeing on this little one here. And there's a bunch of them. I mean, I'm doing a bunch of business here, so I'm so super excited. Lots and lots of these W's coming in all over the place. Okay, let's go look at your list for the last part of this offering here. Anybody who's watching on YouTube, this is basically what we do on a daily basis, Monday to Friday. We spend a good half hour, 45 minutes or so. Just simply, you guys want to know sort of my opinion, and that's all it is opinion. But at least we just give you a just perfectly candid review of names here. So does anybody remember where we left? EMC2. Well, I don't know whether you're aware, Greg, but who is that? Sasha. But we actually are sellers here of EMC2. I think it even shows right here. Yeah, we got off a really nice sell overnight on that. So there's not obviously if I'm selling, that doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to be buying it right now. But I suppose I can toot my own horn. Yeah, this was kind of a fun trade. And I think I even put this out on Twitter. I kind of love to just remind the public what we do here. So a great example of just simply having the balls to go in and just buy off of low ends of ranges. We got a nice double off here. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, this is our second double that was filled on this. So I'm actually going to get a little greedy on this because I just like having fun. Does anybody see, is there any kind of letter of the alphabet that maybe we should be thinking about here? Does that sort of look like a letter of the alphabet? There is no spoon. So, I mean, frankly speaking, I don't know what the story is behind this thing. What's really interesting, though, is if you actually look at this crazy coin, this This actually isn't even really that high. Check this out. And this is where I'm going to have a little fun with this. And by all means, you don't have to lock yourself into one strategy or another. It's your money. Build your plan the way that you want to build it. Sell half on a double. I think it's a great idea to get that sell half on a double working right away. Bang, bang, bang. Just get it done. Then that way you got yourself a risk-free position. What you do following that event, that's up to you, man. So I'm going to have a little fun with this one. And we'll just see what the hell happens. The great part about it is I'm laughing here. I've already got 200% book profit. Do I have any risk left on ownership of this name? Anyone? I don't know. Sure hope you can understand the logic behind this. This is kind of why, and it was kind of funny. The headline that I put out, I think, was I'm mining Bitcoin through trading altcoins. So this one, I'm already sitting on a risk-free position. It's already paid me a big whack of Bitcoin, so I'm just tickled pink. And what I've done here, just for fun, is I'm going to get a little greedy, and I got my next order at sell a third on a triple. Now let's see what happens, just for fun. I mean, have fun at this game, guys. It's your money. So this was the headline, and the irony of it all is that really that unrealistic to see that move? Remember, Bitcoin. Who are these clowns? Bittrex. Bittrex is gone and cleaned out the order book here. They basically just did us a favor. There are no sells here. Why do you think this coin is popping as hard as it is? Because there's no more sells here. Bittrex just fucking totally, and this is where we get into a little bit of what's going on here. Why would they do that? Because frankly speaking, I don't buy it's going to declog our system line. I don't buy that at all. I think they want more volatility in price, and they're trying to figure out how to do that, which of course, more volatility means more business. So what's interesting here is that I've gone and thrown the order up here. I'm in no hurry whatsoever, and I'm just going to let this work. And look how high they took this silly thing. I mean, technically, wicks and tails like to be eaten. We could very easily see some sort of stab up here going forward. No problem whatsoever. So let's have some fun here. And what do you think? Are there some buyers coming in here? I don't know. Kind of looks like there's a couple buyers. Problem here is, do you go and buy this here? I don't think so. If anything, if you want to be a buyer, ironically enough, you know what you ought to do is, what do you think the odds are? Kevin, are you here? What do you think the odds are? Well, and gee whiz, maybe what ends up happening is we have to go up here to create this. But I wouldn't be surprised if a 78.6 buy entry sets up off of this structural level. So there is the fibs now. Oh, what a coincidence. So can everybody see how value high is right here? 78.6, 2273. And it's also like you see this consolidation and breakout. That's really where the rally started. So, if these highs hold, and frankly speaking, I don't know if they will or not. But if these highs hold, then if you want to be a buyer, I think you have to start concentrating when price gets back down to here. And actually, really good question. Let's see. We had some level oneers. Basically, they're winding up their introduction to the market. So I wouldn't mind asking. Let's see if do we have any level oneers here? Who's a level oneer? China, you're a level oneer, right? Marius, right? Hey, does it make sense that if you add a concept like reload zone into your trading, it helps you with the discipline and patience to sort of prevent you from buying crappy markets? Did you get that out of the level 1 program? What do you think, Stan? Janet, Tim, Marius? If people watching on YouTube, you're just like, Jesus Christ, what the hell are these guys talking about? Just take a screenshot of this, right? This is what we call the reload zone, 61.8 to 78.6 fibs. You can see how I just simply drew that study. It's not rocket science. And what we often find happens is that these statistical measures, because that's all this is just a statistical measure of this range. They often seem to really line up nicely with things like volume profile levels, what we call value. See how 78.6 lines up nicely with the top of value there, that purple area. As well, usually these boxes line up with previous structural levels. You know, for those people watching on YouTube, when I was like, what letter of the alphabet does this look like? Hopefully you can see that. It's terrible W. Let's try that again. Bleep. Down, up, down, breakout. Can you see that W? How about somebody over on YouTube? Can you see the W? Let me know. Oh, look at that. Kevin's posting a coin that just exploded. What the hell's that, Kevin? Upside down M. RLZ give birth to Kvarks. Yeah, in a weird sort of way. VBAYCH2. That's an interesting name. Try saying that 10 times fast. Yeah. So, and you know, the funny thing is even as I'm blabbing away here for all the YouTubers watching, in the lounge, guys are popping off trades as we're speaking here. So, nicely done, Kevin. It sounds to me like Kevin's caught onto this game pretty quick. So anyway, the bottom line here is this is what we call market structure. Mr. Sexy Voice Coin, AGRS. I didn't know that, Benjamin. And so our shark setup that we actually teach in the school program is nothing more than just simply hunting 78.6s following that market structure signal. So nice W's. You see, hopefully you see the W, same sort of thing. Big breakout. Draw your 78.6. If it's off that level, get in there bidding. Sometimes you get just absolute gifts. So there you go. Right. So I think I just spent a half an hour reviewing one name. Jeez. And I apologize because this is one that I'm trading right now, so you know, slightly biased there. But can you chase it here? No. If you want to get in on this thing, love the structure, beautiful, mwah, mwah, kisses, kisses. Look to try and reload down here, 2273 area. And if anything, I might even, if we get a nice little dip right down back against these lows, and I get a nice little W come in here, I might just go and buy these coins that I sold. Oh, yeah, remember that guy? Is that who AGRS is? But this guy is a character. If you want to have a fun time, go watch a YouTube video of this guy. He's just hilarious. Sadly, Brian's hair is going to look like that pretty soon, man. I'm going bald quick. Oh, well. All right. Thank you, Ben. Yeah, I remember that guy. He's so funny. Okay, let's move on here. So I got one done. Way to go, Brian. ZEC. What is Z? Does anybody remember where we last left off? Because if we've done these on Friday, I don't want to do them again. Does anybody remember where we last left off? Mo, do you remember where we last left off? I seem to remember we've already looked at this. ZEC. Yeah, you know me. Well, let's go look at our Bittrex, I guess. ZEC, Bittrex. There it is, boink. Sure looks like she's trying to bottom down in here. You can see, obviously, yeah, we probably talked a bit about this recently. Oh, yeah, I remember. This was the risk a buck to make $5 scenario. I don't know whether this is the bottom. This is a weekly chart. If you see the market up through here, then yeah, she's gone. She ain't coming back. But right now, we're still sort of swimming, trying to find the bottom here. And on the daily charts, you know, here we are coming back down into reload zones against this original bottom. This tail looks a bit suspicious here. I wouldn't be surprised if they play some games here. You know, so if you want to work your bids against these lows, not a bad name. And again, this is the kind of thing you got to force yourself to go in there and try and buy against lows while everybody else is dumping it. Not going to say it's easy. If you're a trader and you go and take a stab here, probably best just to walk away if we break those lows. If you're a little old lady nibbler, Yeah, I don't have a problem going and nibbling on a name like that. It looks like we're a bit early, though. Don't get me wrong. We're a bit early to call a bull here. You can see the cute little weekly divergence in MACD. Wow, you don't see that every day. All right. LBC, library credits. I always like to use library credits as sort of my test teaching thing, because it's such a good anecdote of trading ranges. So everybody can see how she came down, put in her bottom here, had a huge seasonal rally, then boom, right back down to the bottom. So, this is the kind of thing I love, Nanny Nibble's kind of idea. Just take your shot against these previous lows. You want, this is the bottom's in, this is for real. Probably your move above these highs will tell you that the bottom is in right now. And actually this looks a lot very similar to that coin we just looked at a moment ago. I could very easily see one more nice little FU to go and eat this tail against these lows here. That wouldn't surprise me. All right. UBIQ. Oh, UBIQ. UBIQ. Oh, yeah, that's UBIQ. I actually, geez, what pretty charts. Do you see how they basically just, that's interesting. Do you see how they basically just completely remove the fluff from this story? Does that make sense? Anybody? I don't know. To me, this looks beautiful. I mean, look at this perfect little bottom right here. Just down, up, down, then fight. Ah, it's right off the POC. Not a bad place to start doing some nibbling. I had a bid working in here at 13, and so I got filled right here. Cheeky Brian. There is another gap sitting down here, so I do have a stinky right down here just in case they dump, but my hunch is there's probably going to be a rally, probably back up to value high before that event happens. But definitely could understand if this thing turned here, and you can see the double bottom on the weeklies. This thing goes down, up, down, and then breaks out through this high, then I think the bottom's in. So really encouraging to see, and by all means, traders got to trade. What do you think, guys? Is that a double bottom you think you could trade? It's not a hell of a lot of risk. Pretty small risk window. You're going to basically play this W right in here. Buy here. If it breaks below here, get the hell out. Not a bad trade. Not risking a hell of a lot of money. So that's sitting there for you traders as well. Monero XMR. What time is it? I do have to go bathe, so I don't want this to go too long. Boosh. Oh, actually, I don't want to do it here. Oh, boy. Well, we'll just do it just real quick here. Trading range. Whenever it makes a new low like this, we talked about these names recently. In fact, we had a site member who was quite choked up that he didn't see these play. And where the hell's that Wayne? Where are you, Wayne? Wayne, this has got your name written all over it. Wherever you are. So, if anything, Wayne, you have no choice. You have to paper trade this. Okay. What do we want to look at? That was UBIQ, Monero. That's XMR, right? XMR. I think also, too, we have to be cognizant. If Bitcoin's going in face rip mode, then really we shouldn't be looking for performance out of these little altcoins. Jesus Christ. What the hell's Kevin's got another one. What's this one? This AGRX just keeps going. I better actually check to see if I should have any orders working on that just in case I don't. So, excuse the interruption. We will be right back we will do a station identification. What the hell is this? AGRS. Who's got the oh, okay, I don't know that much of it. Who's got the elevator music key? Do 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 do. Okay, so I last sold some up at 40,000. Where are we here? It's back at 7,000. I should probably go buy some back. The original buys that I did were at 9,000. So isn't that funny? And so it comes all the way down and bottoms at 5,000 again. So, I don't, obviously, please, for heaven's sakes, everybody, do not chase, right? Can we do WTF BTC? Looks great, better than pornography, Brian. You should use one of the gap detection trading view scripts. Yeah, that would be good, Sen. Definitely. I should grab one of those. I'm still finishing up with the school right now, and it's exam week this week, so I'm going to be a little crazy for probably the next week or so. Then once that's done, I can finally settle down and just relax for a bit. So. Okay, so way to go, Kevin. If you took this trade right on, hopefully everybody can see the nice little W reaction here. You could have just basically traded this on momentum. Beautiful reload zone off of this. Just brilliant. If anything, you YouTubers watching this going, what the hell is he talking about reload zone? I don't know about this. So just pull up this AGRS. I won't do it, but just pull up the fib off of this high back to these lows. See where that reload zone is. And my hunch is your bottom came in right through that. Really, really good learning crap. I mean, seriously, guys, all you YouTubers, this is the shit. I mean, you want to know how to learn how to make money from trading? This is it right there. But the problem here is you cannot go and buy this now. You can't touch it. Sorry. Can't touch this. Did you get that one, Paul? Okay, so XMR, looking at this thing, weekly chart, man, nothing really to write home about, sort of no man's land. Daily chart, coming up against the bottom end of ranges, but not there now. And as I had said earlier, we had one site member who was really frustrated. He was, I guess, a level 2er now. He saw, these really, really tight, fast W's come in. But the problem with these is that usually this is like too far too fast, and it's going to have to end up correcting. My hunch is we're probably going to have to come right back down to value low here. So if anything, Wayne, just keep a close eye. If anything, what we might have happen, which would be just such a nice treat for you, would be AB, CD, boom, 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 boom. And this, if it does play out this way, would actually set up just a sick harmonic. So boom, 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 boom. Usually like 88.6 is a popular harmonic level. Where the hell's that? Right down in there. So if you got this nice AB equals CD and you got any kind of buy signal in here, Wayne, oh my God. You just got to get all over that. So, and anybody, just all the YouTubers, right? That's a really cool trade level that's trying to tell yourself. And what's so cool about this is you can see volume profile. You can see that there's like a notch. There's a hole in the profile here. Why is there that hole there? Ideally, the profile wants to look like a parabola. So if that's sort of what the parabola is trying to form, you can see that if it comes down into here, it could come in, fill this notch in nicely, and then head back up to test value high. If we accept above here, this could basically, again, be your bottom. And away she goes. So somebody seems to be knocking at my door. So I'm going to put myself on pause, and I will be right back. All right, life is always giving us curveballs. Turns out somebody's had a bit of an accident here, and I need to help them out here. So I'm gonna have to end the call here at this, guys. I apologize. I think we've been talking for about an hour or so. So I'm gonna have to leave it at that. I will end the broadcast there. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and as soon as I help this person out, I'll be back in the lounge just to chat with you guys. All right, sorry to do that to you guys. Mo, did you get any value out of what we talked about? All right, awesome. So hopefully I feel okay. So duty calls. Somebody needs my help, so I'm gonna have to leave the call at that for now. You guys have yourselves a great day. Pop into the lounge if you have any questions, and we'll be more than happy to try and help you. All the best, and bye for now.